Hello, everyone. This is our 15 favorite episodes of Star Wars ever. My name's Sloan Kelly.
My name is Jody Kelly.
And my name is James Baker.
Do you know there's 56 episodes of Star Wars live action Star Wars?
Live
television?
action. Yes.
Live action Star Wars.
Live
I didn't
action,
know
certainly.
that. I did not know that.
Across 5 series.
That is a lot.
That's not seasons, that's series. The 5 series. So there's The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Andor, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka.
Mm.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
I know that a lot of people kind of, the internet crowd are a bit kind of divisive about the TV stuff, particularly the Boba Fett show. But I feel that overly, it's been a success. The TV stuff on Disney. Anyone else?
I feel I
Yes.
have loved it. I feel I've loved it all. I was ready for it, ready to consume all that content.
Yeah.
So, my bar's not super, super high. My bar is just give it to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's moments of, we'll probably discuss later, whoever disagrees with whoever's pick, but
Um,
there'll
probably be no fighting tonight. That's
probably not.
probably we'll still be pals at the end, probably.
Let me put this way.
Probably.
As far as I'm concerned, we're getting Star Wars on TV.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
we've been asking for it for years, and we've got Star Wars on TV.
There's-
Some of the episodes, maybe not so great.
Well, I'd say even just some elements of episodes, but the episodes have been fine,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
And then there's been some filler episodes, I suppose you could say, but not overall. I think we're pretty happy, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it is Christmas.
So let's not fight.
Yeah.
Let's be nice. to each
Feed
other.
the world.
That's it.
Make it a better place.
So just leave
You
my
know that-
Book of Boba Fett alone. That's all.
Although
I'm
that
saying.
makes this quite a boring video if we don't fight. So let's fight.
Let's back.
Shut it.
No, I didn't.
So just going
you
back.
did.
No, I didn't.
He's
All right,
behind
calm down,
you.
both of you.
Oh,
Right,
sorry.
I'll put you both in a naughty step.
Sorry. Carry on.
So we were both all of us were both of us, all three of us were tasked to come up with 5 episodes, and we came up with the idea that we shouldn't overlap those episodes. And so that's why we've got 15 episodes. So we've chosen 5 episodes each that we feel embody the best of the Star Wars that we've had on television. So that's kind of where we are just now. So
Yeah.
I think what we should do is we should probably just go through in the order that they were created, which is Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Andor, Obi-Wan, and then Ahsoka. How does everyone feel about that? Sound good?
Yep, spot on.
All right. Okay. Jody, this is your first choice, The Prisoner.
Yes, this is the episode that when we first decided we were going to do this. This is the episode that popped into my head first, and it pops into my head every time I think about Mandalorian. It's the episode with Bill Burr and the big lad, not Channing
Fancy
Tatum.
Brown.
Fancy Brown. And I just love this team up. It's almost like a kind of Guardians of the Galaxy kind of vibe to it, but it's very much Star Wars, and it's part of the story as well. It's just a great episode. The characters are great. The writing's great. The special effects are brilliant. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got horror elements.
Yes,
to it.
I was going to say the horror stuff. It kind of elements of it. There was a little bit aliens.
Toward the end, yeah. It's just got everything to me, you know. And I love the robot as well. It's voiced by Richard Ayoade.
I know. It's
It's
such a great voice for that robot.
It's perfect. It's almost
so good.
it's one of the perfect episodes of Mando, and I actually thought it was in season 2, but it was in season 1. This one
Was yeah.
I know. Yep.
Yeah.
Also, for those of you playing at home, that was played by Tonks from Harry Potter as well. The Twi'lek. It's not a Twi'lek. She's not. She doesn't play a Twi'lek. She plays the other one.
Yeah, but she has a Twi'lek.
She has a Twi'lek. Okay.
Aye.
Who's the engineer at the beginning where he's leaving?
Well, the bearded,
and a bearded guy. He's in Sons of Anarchy. He's also in 40 Days of Night.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that movie.
That's a great film with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who that is. Everybody's great in it. The bit at the end as well, spoilers, when they realise that the sort of homing thing has gone back to that mechanic guy, and the X-Wings turn up, and it's perfect to me.
But remind me, is Carson in the X-Wing? No.
I think he is.
I think he is, yeah.
Was that his?
Yeah, I think it's Carson.
Is that not the Dave Filoni, Carson, and Deborah Chow?
Is it?
I don't know if the three of them are in it, but
is it not that one?
No, I think that's the one where they fight Mando in space.
If James is in the chat just now,
correct us,
or anyone in the chat, please correct us.
We should just call him Jamesopedia.
Yeah, I know.
Cracking episode.
That's a great episode, and Bill Burr fits perfectly into Star Wars, even though he said that he wasn't a big fan of Star Wars.
Yeah,
I think I'm not sure
he grounds it.
Certainly wasn't a fan. But now
he's now an action figure as well.
He is.
Yeah,
he's an action figure. Have you got him?
I've got mine.
Black Series.
No, not Black Series. No, vintage. Such a nice figure.
Yeah,
it looks. I think it looks better on the vintage because you get the card. It just looks.
Oh, I love the vintage stuff. Yeah, it's great, brilliant. Yeah, it's so good, so good. That's mine. My first one.
Aye, cracking.
And James, you've got Redemption.
So, through my notes, which I've made just about 5 minutes ago. So this is the season finale to Mando season 1. First of all, any redemption story I'm absolutely in love with. So the fact it was called Redemption really kind of triggered me in a good way. So I never really thought about whose redemption it was. I think at the time, remember watching the season finale, we're all going through COVID. We're all kind of stuck in the house and kind of thing.
So
and it was just such a lovely thing to experience. So, and I was just ready to take on anything. And at the time, I was fully in love with Taika Waititi. With like anything he done, I was just like, I'm all in. So he directed it, obviously, and he was the voice of IG-11.
Yeah.
And the dialogue, like I think, growing up when I was collecting the figures, when I was a boy, I should say. Sorry. When I was collecting the figures, I always thought always a boy. The Scout Trooper was like one of the coolest. One of the coolest. Like I think the Scout Troopers are cooler than Stormtroopers. I just think they look totally amazing. So
those are good bikes.
I know. To have hundreds of Scout Troopers. It
was a different grill as well, and they had the kind of like the visor thing over. Yeah. The helmet looks better.
Yeah.
The general outfit, they're kind of slightly. They're more kind of like combat trousers than armor on them.
I always felt if I was ever going to cosplay as like a stormtrooper, the scout trooper is probably a little bit easier, but also a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that dialogue between those guys at the beginning, and then the scout troopers punching Grogu in the sack. I'm absolutely all in this.
Do you know who the scout troopers are played by?
No, go on.
Ted Lasso himself.
Is it?
Oh,
Jason
really?
Sudeikis, yeah. Jason Sudeikis, and there's the other guy from Happy Endings. I can never remember his name. Pally?
Right?
I can't remember his name.
No, I didn't know.
He's
didn't
a
know
Canadian.
that at all.
That's a great opening scene, by the way.
Oh man!
In fact, I think it's Jason Sudeikis who punches Grogu.
And do you know what? See, everybody that says, "Oh, Disney, it's sugar coated and all that." Check out that scene. That's not
so good.
Yeah.
So the fact that they finished, remember them trying to shoot the target and they just couldn't. None of them.
Yes. Star Wars in joke number 1.
But that was another one as well. Sorry, going back to the previous one, the prisoner. He says, "Hey, I'm not a stormtrooper." Because he says a marksman, and he can all pause like. You were in the Imperials and you were a marksman. Goes, "Hey, I'm not a stormtrooper."
Yeah,
yeah, that's fun. That is it's so good that. But the fact that when IG-11 turns up and they're like, "What's happening here?" and isn't he saying, "I'm the nurse droid"?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just he's been changed by Nick Nolte's character, Cool.
Yeah.
Quill.
Yeah.
Quill. That's it.
Quill.
But it's spelled Kuill. Yeah.
So he turns up and he lets them know he's a nurse droid, and it's just I think it's absolutely brilliant. Now listen, I made some notes here, so I'm just going to go through it. So you, give me a second. I like the fact that everyone's in it, and remember how in love we all were with the character Cara Dune. I mean, she's in it, Grief Karga's in it, and they've got that standoff, and Moff Gideon's in it. Oh, by the way, I sent you a wee picture of me and Juan Carlos Esposito.
Oh,
so
I'll bring it up.
So he's in it, and I think he's fantastic.
Oh, look at that!
That was just a couple of months ago.
Yeah, Edinburgh, was that?
In fact, see that T-shirt? I've got an exact same T-shirt on just now. Oh.
That's what you have. Was that Edinburgh, James?
That was Edinburgh.
Aye. That's
what are the chances? What are the chances? So I thought he's absolutely brilliant.
He was. He's a great villain all the way through.
Aye, totally. So see the whole redemption thing. I'm like, whose redemption story is this? I mean, do you guys agree it's IG-11's redemption story?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just thinking, is that? Am I? Like, I absolutely think it is, and I'm just making sure I'm not missing something mega obvious.
Yeah.
So IG-11, I think he had the best scenes. You know, the part where he's managed to get Grogu, and he's basically coming to the rescue because everyone's just pinned down in that pub.
Yeah,
and he's shooting all the stormtroopers, and he's on the speeder bike, and his head's still facing forward, and he has the child, and his body spins around, but his arms are still pointing in that direction, and he's just blasting everything. And I'm just like, and his bike going around the corner, it's kind of half skidding in the air. It's just it's
see Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, when they knew that they had this series and these scenes, they must have known everybody was going to go crazy. They must have. I mean, it's crazy.
I know.
Just even thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Fantastic.
I know.
What an episode.
I know. And you've got scenes with. So one of the things I do remember was before the actual main shootout begins, Grief Karga's in the pub and he just takes a shot, and then I just think it's funny. It takes a shot and then takes shots. But also we have the de-helmeting of Pedro Pascal, the IG-11. He's saying, "Don't you dare take this off me because you'll be no living person to see me live." And he's like, "I'm not living." And then, and then at the end, you know, they get into the sewers and they're going out through the lava, you know, the lava river. And he just pays IG-11 pays the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
And we all know what happens after that. You know, obviously further down the line, something happens with IG-11. But at that time, you didn't know what was going to happen. And he does pay the ultimate sacrifice.
And we see the first view of the Darksaber as well, do we not? In that episode?
Yes, we do.
That's right, the end.
So, so that is absolutely one of my favorites.
It's a belter, absolute belter.
I seem to remember you liking it for another reason, though, James, as well. Not just the redemption part of that.
Please remind me.
The R2 unit with the limbs that was the punt.
Oh yes, so well remembered. Yeah. I seem to remember being quite pleased with that. He was like you can imagine Hades, you know, like
like the river Styx
crossing
the
river, and you had to put the two coins in the eyes. But you imagine that's the actual person or the mythical character that's taking you across to the other side. The
ferryman, to quote Chris de Burgh.
Ferryman, yes, the ferryman. Totally. I totally forgot about him, actually.
I know, exactly.
Well remembered, by the way.
Yeah. It was an RD4 unit with arms and legs.
R5D4, yes.
Was it? I thought it was an R2.
No, I think it was an round dome. I think it was the kind of more hexagonally for whatever shape.
I think we're just going to find out. I'm going to go R2 unit. You may be right, Johnny.
No, I may be wrong. I'm usually wrong.
Let me look it up.
Can you find it?
Not as fast as I thought I could find it.
No.
Yeah, here he is. Here. MA13. He is.
Oh, is he? Shows a picture.
I will. Is him there?
There you go.
Oh, do you know why? Because the red colours through me.
Yeah. So he's
Dang it.
probably got an R5 body with an R2 heat.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have, yeah.
That's cool.
He's all
That's
beat up.
That's a terrific episode. Well said.
Aye.
Yeah.
Perfect. So there you go. That's my
Sloan.
opening gambit.
Right, Sloan.
Mine is a wee bit later. It's actually in season 2. This one, I think is it the first episode? Which is
The Marshal.
Yeah. No, it's not the first episode. Then must be the third episode in the Jedi. So this is where we meet Ahsoka Tano for the first time.
In live action,
and it is full on this Yojimbo from Akira Kurosawa. I put this in because I'm a wee bit of a fan of Kurosawa, and I love this movie. It was remade by Sergio Leone as well, and not Sergio Leone. Yeah, Sergio Leone. That guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah.
It was remade with Clint Eastwood. But yeah, this is the classic, dusty thing. All the villagers go inside and all that kind of stuff. Almost exact same shots. And it's also the first time we meet Morgan Elsbeth as well.
Yes.
That's
I actually forgot. I forgot that she was a character in that episode.
Yeah.
Diana Lee.
I love how it all links. It's great.
Michael Biehn's in this as well.
He is.
That's right. Yeah, Michael Biehn's in it. Yeah, he plays the second in command, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He plays a dick.
He does.
He
plays it very well.
Dick.
Yeah.
It's also the first episode where we learn the child's name as well.
Oh,
and everybody went,
Grogu. I know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of good bits in it. Oh, also the Ahsoka's familiars in it as well. The owl, was it called Morag the owl or something? It's called something like that. Anyway, I can't remember. Comments below.
It's very atmospheric this episode actually, especially in the sort of forest parts of it, and when she's kind of fighting and stuff, and it's really, really, really nice episode. Yeah, I like it a lot.
They did kill him off, yeah. It's good. There's a good bit as well where the Mando gets chased. So there's like two parts. There's a bit where they're storming the castle where Morgan Elsbeth is storming the castle. There's two of them. So Ahsoka goes into the castle, but meanwhile Mando's on the outside and he's got to like put up with these figure out how to get around these assassin droids, and that's a great sequence as well because they're like running about the rooftops and like going crazy. After him. In fact, is it the same assassin droids that chase Ahsoka down in the first episode of Ahsoka?
Oh, right, yeah.
I think it is.
I think it's got HK something.
HK, yeah, Hunter Killer, droids.
Big Terminator reference.
Some really great designs in this series and all the series. You know, just when you think you've seen the coolest droid or villain or bad dude, you haven't, because they do themselves every time, you know. It's brilliant.
Upon first watching, I didn't realise that was Michael Biehn.
Me neither. I think it was you told. One of you did. One of you told me. I was like, no way. Didn't recognise it.
No.
Yeah. Great actor, great presence, great baddie. Brilliant. Did you ever watch the interview with him? Talking about working with James Cameron.
No,
there's a terrific interview with him. It's online, and he's talking about he's got a great respect for James Cameron, but I think he's kind of skirting around the fact that he's quite a difficult guy to work with, because if he just wants the shot no matter what, he'll drown. Almost drowned. What's that term? An abyss. Well, almost drowned a couple of.
Oh yeah, Ed Harris.
Ed Harris, and the female actor,
Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
Well done. Yeah, both of them. Imagine trying to drown your lead characters. Mad.
I know. That's James Cameron. Do you know that was a disused nuclear reactor
Oh, was
that they
it?
filmed
Was
the
it?
Abyss in. Yeah,
Oh, really?
it was big enough that they could flood it with water.
Right.
The set, but it was also like 20 meters deep or something. It was a crazy amount of deep.
Right.
It wasn't just a wee swimming pool where you could duck your head down and then you get the shot. It was like they were down there. Not pleasant, apparently.
No.
So
Okay.
seeing this episode of the Jedi when he's walking through the village, because I've got it on in the background here just now. I'm just remembering bits of it because obviously I can't remember that well. You know how in these old Kurosawa films they'd have like possibly dead bodies, maybe hanging.
Yes.
Like this is a warning to you.
This is what's going to happen to you. Yeah.
Obviously, they can't put the dead bodies there. However, they've got those bodies kind of not the actual people strapped up, held there, but they're alive. Obviously, they just
that's like a medieval torture as well. It's not a Kurosawa thing necessarily. It's a medieval thing where they used to have people in kind of stress positions in a tight cage kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next one. This one is Migs Mayfield episode 2. This is The Believer, which is also this is chapter 15. The episode itself contains some kind of dodgy bits of the stuff. There's a bit where they're going along in the transport. It's one of those ones you got to stay under a certain speed or else the thing will blow type thing. But we're also getting attacked by pirates, and it's like it's whatever. It's this end bit. I love this bit with the cocky Imperial guy and Miggs, who was involved on the other end of Operation Cinder Block or Cinder, whatever it's called. Which is basically burn everything. That was the Emperor's last order: was burn everything. If I don't make it, burn everything. And he watched
Return the Jedi.
After Return of the Jedi. So basically, if you're not worthy of the Empire, then you're not worthy to live. And that was his thing.
Because Miggs was
he watched all his friends die. Yeah, he watched all his friends die basically, and so he's got no love for the Empire. And of course, he could easily just walk away, but that's not what he wants to do in this situation. But it's a great scene. It is just so tense watching it.
Really tense.
It just goes to show how great an actor Bill Burr really is.
In this scene. It is. It really is. And it's another. Pedro's got to take his helmet off again in this episode. I think is this one of my picks?
Mine.
Is this yours? I would have picked this one as well, to be honest with you, but I didn't want to pick two Bill Burr ones.
I think you did pick this one as well.
But is this the one that we had to change? Right, okay. Right. I just love this whole thing as well. It's the tenseness, like you say, the infiltration of the base.
They're all cheering each other on, going, woo!
Bringing Bill Burr back. And also seeing kind of day-to-day stormtrooper stuff as well, which is it's like I was saying in last Sunday's podcast. It's bringing a kind of originality to Star Wars, things that we've never seen before. It just makes it more interesting, much more interesting.
And it does some great action sequences. The bombs make a return as well, and from Boba's
from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, from Attack of the Clones.
Yes,
such a nice
the only good bit in Attack of the Clones.
By the way, answering this question, what's the actor been in? Who is the guy who's been a dick?
This guy.
I recognize him.
He's got that really kind of southern accent.
Yeah.
And he's always good at being a dick.
Yeah. He's in loads of stuff, isn't he? I totally recognise him. Sloane, you?
I'm not sure who he is.
No, not sure.
But he was chosen for that particular accent though, because they wanted a low, essentially a low-ranking Imperial, and the high-ranking Imperials all speak with received pronunciation like that, whereas he speaks with this kind of y'all and all that kind of stuff. So they wanted someone who's like a bit rough around the edges, but still full of himself.
And Mando is set after Return of the Jedi, isn't it?
Yep, 5 years.
Yes, yeah.
So there's these kind of fractions of the Empire still sort of kicking
around.
Yeah. And obviously there's going to
Gold
with
remnants.
Andor, it kind of shows how they kind of come together, which is I love how it all links together. It's great, and it's work. In Andor.
No, Andor's set way before the first. And Andor's making the first Death Star.
Oh, so it is. Sorry. Ahsoka.
Project Stardust.
Sorry, you're right. Sorry. Do apologise.
Stardust, isn't it? Because that's what he calls Jin.
So it is. It's before A New Hope, yeah.
By the way, we're still all watching this through lockdown. This is still COVID times.
Yeah.
So we're still so happy. I mean, even if it wasn't COVID times, we'd be so happy to see it. But getting this through COVID times.
It was great, wasn't it?
Great
times.
There's also another good bit in this as well where Mayfield says, so beforehand it was you can't remove the helmet. Now it's you can wear any helmet. Making like big kind of speech.
See the whole
also at the start when you
Oh no, go on.
I was going to say at the start you see him and he's cutting up an Imperial TIE fighter or something, and you see the walk in the background. It's the breakup yard. That's great as well. Another kind of, but that was the crazy thing as well, is that the New Republic, they didn't want to have anything to do with the Empire, so they decommissioned everything. Like that's insane. The amount of money that went into that equipment, and you're just going to go, just cut it for scrap.
Yeah,
that was insane.
Yeah.
Do you know, I really like I don't want to miss. I know it's your episode, your choice, but I just want to remember see the journey with trying to keep everything like stable on that journey. It was so tense to get to this kind of outpost, wherever this is, or where they're going to deliver it. Everyone was cheering them, but I love that journey. But also, you've got this, which is the main bit. This is the meat and the bones of it, the actual conversations and the tenseness, and the kind of talkative standoffs that they're having. But also, beyond this, outside, I've always loved the sniper story. Snipers are the coolest thing. So you've got Fennec Shand and Cara Dune sitting outside, just standing outside, just ready. It's so cool, man. Everything about it.
They're a great team up as well. Brilliant.
Aye, they are, and to have Bill Burr, just the best guy on the planet.
And I love that you're talking earlier on, Sloan, but it's like the kind of banter between them when they're sitting in that truck. On the way into the kind of fortress or whatever it is, that sort of bantering between them is great as well. I love all that. Great. Great episode. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
This one is yours, Jody. This is The Rescue, which is the episode after this.
Oh, what an episode, man. What an episode.
So this is the Luke Skywalker return.
It is, yeah.
Oh my god!
It feels like a movie to me. This episode, the beginning of it, it's like kind of starts kind of in space with kind of nothing really going on, and then it ends with bloody Luke Skywalker
and R2.
This moment here replicates the sort of corridor scene from Rogue
Visual
One.
poetry, Jody.
Yeah, the Darth Vader scene at the end of Rogue One. Luke does the same thing here with those Dark Troopers, or Death Troopers, whatever they are.
Yeah, Dark Troopers.
That kind of moment that Vader had with the rebels. He had Luke Skywalker has here. It's just terrific. It's a great build up. It's the fight between Moff Gideon and Mando is great as well. With the whole Darksaber scenario, I
love that fight. That's such a good fight.
Yeah, me too.
A real struggle.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because Mando's not a dab hand with the dark saber.
He doesn't know how to wield it, does it? Because every kind of time he waves it, it gets heavier or whatever it is.
Yeah,
is that
fights
right?
it.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Until he knows how to actually use it, but obviously it's not really for him to use, which we realise later on. But
what do you call the robot stormtroopers?
is it Death Troopers, Sloan? Or
I think it's Death Troopers. Yeah.
Yeah. They're great as well. They kind of remind me of the Black Hole.
Yes, absolutely.
Robots.
That is a love letter to those guys.
Definitely.
I'm just watching an episode on here, this episode right now, right? So in the background, it's got Mando, one of those Death Troopers, holding him against the wall.
Dark Troopers.
You know how,
Sorry,
Dark Troopers. And you know how powerful they are, and it's just punching his helmet, but it does not make a dent in it.
There's nothing worse than getting punched in the helmet, by the way.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Oh my God.
It just goes to show how it just re-emphasizes how strong Beskar is and what a coveted,
absolutely,
item it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, see the troopers, the wee skinny, tall black troopers in
those are Death Troopers.
Those
are Death Troopers. Yeah.
So these are Dark Troopers.
Dark Troopers. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. And this is the army that Moff Gideon's been building.
Yeah. Well, so he says, but it looks like these are the prototypes.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they didn't have Beskar because Luke just cut them down like they were. That was like a hot butter knife going through butter. Because that was when he went to Mandalore and he picked up the Beskar. That's what he was making all the armor out of. That's why they couldn't. They were having a hard job getting rid of these guys.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, bring back Cara Dune.
Oh, I think she will be back. She's got to be back. Season 2 of Mandalorian is my favourite of these shows. I thought they really got the original trilogy feel back.
Yes.
100%, James.
Well said.
Absolutely. Well said.
There's also another episode where they have a troop transporter.
Oh man, I love that. I forgot about that one actually. Damn it. That's actually one of my other favourites. The clone one.
Yeah, it's a toy that Kenner made up.
Is that the one that you repaired?
It is, yeah.
We had that as a kid, and I was disappointed because it wasn't. Not disappointed because we loved that toy, but it wasn't in any of the movies. So we were like, "What is this thing?" You know.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've put it in, so it's even cooler now. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
But there's a bit in this episode where he looks out the window and he's looking at a monitor. Moff Gideon's looking at the monitor and he sees this one X-wing and he's like, "Uh-oh." And he does this great kind of not quite a spit take, but he's like, "Oh, this is not good."
No, do you remember the feeling when you were watching that? Because no one knew who the Jedi was going to be.
Everybody thought it was going to be Mace Windu. That was the big theory.
Oh God, I'm glad it wasn't. But but do you remember the excitement? Because they teased it. They teased it all the way along. It was like, right, okay, it's this X-wing. Oh God, okay, it's a hooded figure. Oh God, okay, he's got a bloody green lightsaber. Oh God, oh God,
and a black glove. It's that Vince McMahon meme from the WWF.
Yeah, it was. It was a moment. I actually thought I wouldn't have a moment like that in Star Wars. It felt incredible. I think, as a Star Wars fan, absolutely incredible.
You know, as much as I like that, as much as I like seeing Luke Skywalker appear in Star Wars, I was actually gutted when he took Grogu away because I was like, not like bawling in tears, but I was like, oh, what are they going to do next for the next season of Mandalorian? How are they going to walk out of this one?
So were the accountants at Disney.
I know exactly.
That's why
Grogu toys.
What the hell are you doing? Get him back in. Yeah.
Turns out.
See, when we were watching this through COVID, and then they showed Luke fighting all these dark troopers, on the screen. The screen's deliberately black and white, so you cannot see. You can see the lightsaber, you just cannot see the color of the lightsaber. And then you see the color of the lightsaber, and then you're like, no, it can't be.
That's exactly what it was, wasn't it? It was like,
Can it be?
Can't be.
Can it? And then you're like, can it?
Oh man,
no.
So good.
So exciting, man.
So good. Yeah.
Nice.
Great one.
So that's The Mandalorian. That was 5 episodes we chose from that, and we could probably have chosen another 5.
Easily.
I think James said that he was struggling with 5. He sent a message to the chat saying, "I don't think I can make it to 5."
Oh, that was me. It was me. I sent that.
It was you. Yeah.
It's a tough show to just go to. I mean, there's the egg one. The other one that I love is the egg one.
Of course, the Jawas.
Oh, that one. Well, there's that one as well. There's that egg one. There's the one with Grogu going with the eggs.
All right, that egg one,
the frog lady, which is also got the eggs of the spiders, which basically turns into like an alien thing.
My God.
An alien movie,
yeah.
Who's that director again? I can't remember him.
That's the
he done the Ant-Man.
Peyton Reed.
Peyton Reed.
Peyton Reed. He done a finale as well, did he not?
Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah,
he's a great director, really.
That was good.
Well, apart from Quantumania.
Yeah, the Jawas one was
Quantumania. Sorry.
That was his Star Wars film.
I know.
Okay,
totally.
He must have had the buzz after Mando.
Yeah.
So a remake Star Wars within an.
So what TV show are we on to now?
We're on. Okay, so that was Mandalorian. That was 5. That is the largest number of episodes we've got in this list for a single TV series is Mandalorian. So the Mandalorian wins. To
be fair, though, there's 3 seasons of it. So
to be fair, there's 3 seasons of it, and nobody chose anything from season 3.
Yeah,
I would have chosen the last 2 episodes of season 3.
Do you know what? I quite liked the one with. I know you're going to throw things at the TV screen now, but or the phone. I really liked that one. I thought I liked the story of them being detectives. I thought that was quite a nice kind of change of pace. They went into the CD bar and all that good stuff, and it was full of robots.
Do you know what it was about that?
We don't like your kind in here.
Do you know what it was about that? For me, anyway, it was the positioning of where it was. It just kind of. I didn't want.
You said it was a wedding episode.
I didn't want it at that moment.
Yeah.
If they'd done that at the start of the season, I don't know. I just didn't. If it was a one-off, it would have been fine. But it just, it didn't go with the flow of the season.
Yeah. Right, what TV show are we on to now? Because I quite like having these episodes playing in the background.
Yeah, go for it.
We're now moving on to chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, I'm up then.
So we're late into the Book of Boba Fett.
This is you, James. This is you.
Yeah, you're up. It's all on you.
I'm up.
In fact,
so this is the return of Mandalorian.
I can still hear you though.
That's fine, totally. I'm going to do that in a minute anyway. So this is the return of the Mandalorian.
So is this this is the Mandalorian episode of Boba?
Yes, I do remember at the time that there was people were kind of enjoying the whole Star Warsiness of Book of Boba Fett, but I don't think people were really, really loving it. They loved it for what it was. I think I kind of liken the TV shows. I end up quite liking through the whole Disney thing, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars. I imagine it like, remember you got a box and it maybe have the ATST inside, like the chicken walker, but the graphics on the outside seemed maybe a lot better than what the product actually was. Well, the graphics on the outside still made me love what was inside, if that makes any sense. And I think the Book of Boba Fett was kind of like that.
Right.
But so anyway, I'm just sidetracking here. Let me get my notes. So the Return of Mandalorian, I thought the opening felt very mafioso. It was like in a butcher's. What you said?
This is the Paz Vizsla.
Aye, he's Paz Vizsla's in it, but the opening wasn't involving Paz Vizsla. The opening was in like some seedy butchers.
Butchers, yeah.
It was like an industrial butchers,
right?
And it was right, it was all these guys were working. There were swords, there were knives, and he just entered into this. And obviously, it was a front for what was actually happening.
Yeah,
it was on Elysium as well, wasn't it? It was like a round space station-y type world type thing.
Right. Yes, and that was also a really amazing setting because I made a note
that was
that.
It
was kind of like it was I called it a belt world, and then sometimes you could easily cross. You could like in a matter of a second, 1 second you could be in daytime, and in 1 second you could be in nighttime. It just swapped back and forth so easy. Yeah. So I love that belt world. I love the opening. I thought it was brutal because it was a lot of swordplay. I know he wasn't a dab hand with the dark saber, but he was slicing, people up.
Dudes up,
and then he took that mob boss, and he was just like he cut his head off and stuck it in a bag.
So he did.
So he's absolutely not mucking about.
Again, and Disney Plus sugarcoat in Star Wars. No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, totally. So anyway, fast forward a little bit. We're going through. He meets Paz Vizsla, the armorer. They're having a bit of a chat, and I think wasn't it at this point? Does she poo-poo him a wee bit for taking his helmet off?
Yes.
Is this because this kind of sets up the end of this season and the beginning of season 3 because he's taking his helmet off?
That's why
she's always upset. Have you removed your helmet?
Yeah, that's why everybody say. Well, people say this is kind of Mando season 2.5. These couple of episodes because it kind of sets. If you've not watched this bit, then you don't really know why he does what he does in season 3.
And I like the fact they took. What was the event that happened that the Imperials done on Mandalore? It was like the Night of a Thousand Tears. Is that what it was? Night of a Thousand Tears, and all the TIE bombers, and he showed all that stuff. I was just like, "That's
blast Mandalore."
Aye, that turned it into a big sheet of glass. So I love seeing all that stuff because you'd heard about that stuff through the Clone Wars cartoons, but to actually see it in live action really kind of makes it real, for want of a better phrase. And then you've got there was a homage paid to the Terminator where you've got all the K2SO droids walking through and just making sure the remnants of that destruction that was caused, and they're just making sure every Mandalorian was dead.
Yes.
That's just utterly amazing.
That was quite a T2 image.
And I just remember at the time, like, you guys were probably not as into the Book of Boba Fett as I was, but I think episode 5 and 6, which feature Mando quite heavily, I think you guys probably got turned on to it a little bit more. Because he was in it at that point.
I keep going back to Ray Stevenson's character. I like the idea of the Book of Boba Fett.
Me too.
Aye.
Me too. The biker. There was certain things that took me out of it, like the biker gang.
Like, see the stuff with the sand people. Loved it.
Aye.
Thought it was really good. It's just the present day stuff is a bit.
Listen, we said we wouldn't fight, guys. So.
Do you know what people thought? Well, the thing that people thought about the Mandalorian was when we saw the Mandalorian in season 2 of. When we saw Boba Fett in season 2 of the Mandalorian, and how tough he was, and then how I think people were kind of disappointed in the Book of Boba Fett when it was a little bit softer, but it was softer because of what he went through with the Sand People, and he kind of took on their beliefs and things.
Yes,
like that,
it was almost like
he was older as well, so
he became a Tatooine Catholic. That's what I put it down.
Pretty much, or a Buddhist or whatever religion,
a Bomar monk.
I know. A
man called Horse.
Also,
well,
we've got
kind of.
Carson's in this as well, isn't he? He's
Carson's peppered in everywhere. Yeah,
he is. And obviously, we all remember how much we loved the Razor Crest. There's just you
man.
can't see past it. That's just the most amazing ship. And it was
know.
like, if only, Mattel or Ken or whoever does it, if they'd done a Razor Quest, Hasbro, sorry, if they'd done a Razor Quest, it would be absolutely amazing. And then obviously it was destroyed, and then we seen she showed him the N1 Naboo Starfighter, which we all hated back in Phantom Menace, and then we're like, now we love it.
I know.
We're a fickle bunch, Star Wars fans.
We never hated it, did we? Or did we? Nah.
Yes, you did. Admit it.
No.
You hated it at the time. You thought it was a wee bit rubbish at the time. But that whole I didn't used to think, but Peli Motto or Motto, I think her name is, who's the Sigourney Weaver type Ripley character, but also she's dead, kind of mouthy. She reminds me of Danny DeVito's wife, who was in Cheers.
Oh, Rhea Perlman.
Who's in the animated?
She is actually, yes.
She's in
she is. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. There you go. And so anyway, I quite like her characters. Her character's great. I mean, it's just so refreshing, and the banter that they have, I just really enjoy the banter.
I used to really cringe at that character at first, but now the more you see her, and then the more you see her, you get used to, that's the way she is, and she's a great character. I'm surprised there's no figure of Black Series figure. I might be wrong, but I don't think there is.
Probably comes with
the reveal. The reveal of the N1 Naboo Starfighter was great.
It was awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you have that kind of montage of let's fix this up and stuff.
Yes.
And she's got a few extra modifications and all that stuff. I love all that shit, man.
And it's a hot roddy type thing because it's got the carburetors on the outside.
I know it does. The big the things.
I can imagine George Lucas coming in and being shown the model. He's going, "Oh, I like this."
Yeah.
And then when he takes it for a ride, oh my god! By the way,
I know,
brilliant, absolutely amazing.
Could you imagine George coming in and saying, "Can you have the intake popping out of the hood? Can you have it? Can you have it like almost like you can't see past it?" Yeah, we can do that. And it was so fast and all, but it was nimble. Everything, it was so good. And that's when they meet Carson, because he basically makes it up into the atmosphere of Tatooine, and then Carson gives him a bit of crap, makes his escape, and he lands it, and he says "wizard." I'm just like, I just absolutely love this.
Wizard.
He said wizard. I'm just like, that's just taking the stuff that maybe at the time, back in, when was Phantom Menace released? 99?
99, I think. Yeah.
So you're watching the Naboo Starfighter, and you've seen Anakin in the Starfighter and kind of saying all these cringy things, and you're just like, you loved it at the time, but I think very quickly it got old, and maybe you're a wee bit kind of spun up with it.
Which is funny.
With two joysticks.
Try rolling. With two joysticks.
It was just so good. It just brings it. I think Filoni and Favreau, they just bring that stuff full circle. See all that stuff you kind of thought was cringeworthy? Well, we're going to lean into that, and that's what I love about. That's what I loved about it. Yeah. So, just in closing, just wanted to make sure I got everything covered, all bases. I love the ship testing. I love the fact they said wizard. Plenty of references to "This Is the Way," because at the time, let's face it, we're going back how many years? We're going back 3 or 4 years. We all that was part of our language back then. This is the way. And it happened. We were like, "This is the way. This is the way." We don't say it anymore because it's not on anymore. But we did say, "This is the way." Like, you're going to need a bigger boat. This is the way was what we were saying. Yeah. Or "I have spoken" was another thing we used to say.
That's right. Yeah, that was for a year.
I know, yep. And then directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. Richie Cunningham's kid.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So,
it was
anyway.
American Graffiti. Which, by the way,
of course,
it's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I recommend American Graffiti.
Okay. Deep cuts.
I did I buy it on Google? I think I bought it on Google.
That's an old movie.
It's good.
That's a good movie, aye.
You've got a lot of questionable purchases, Sloan.
THX 1138 as well.
Star Wars is pretty much a culmination of American Graffiti and that TH 1138.
1138. Yeah.
Isn't it? Really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like It's not hologram, but yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So that's me. So I was going to go for a quick refresher break, but since I'm probably up next with the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, Cad Bane.
Aye. Holy
Cad Bane.
shit.
Of course.
Sorry for saying shit, but I'm also not sorry for saying shit.
It's fine. You said it 3 times.
I know.
It's the first 10. What is it? First 30 seconds. If you swear, then that's you demonetized or something.
Somewhat, yeah.
Is it? Best not
well, we're not monetized, so it doesn't really matter.
No, we're not. So it makes no difference.
We should be fine.
So also, go on.
Sorry.
You gonna say?
No, I was going to say the live version of Cad Bane was just absolute on the money. Spoilers. I hate the way it ended for him.
Did it?
It's not ended for him. We think it's ended.
We
thought Boba Fett was dead.
Are we going to get another Boba Fett? Are we going to get another Book of Boba Fett?
We pan across the Tatooine Desert Sea, and we see Boba Fett's gloved hand thrust through the sand.
Well, you're right.
Exactly.
You know, and I tell you what, we got that. We finally got that scene of him escaping the Sarlacc pit. A thing we'd never thought we'd see.
Patton Oswalt predicted.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
And it predicted exactly. See, have you ever seen the clip of him talking about it
in Parks and Rec? Yeah.
They've done it the exact same way.
Yeah.
They must have done that on purpose.
I don't think it's the last we've seen of Cobb Vanth either.
No.
Vanth,
I think it is.
Vanth.
So listen, a large part of this episode is, you know, we see Ahsoka again, which is so nice, and we see Luke. So we're getting Ahsoka, Luke, and R2D2, which I remember thinking at the time, oh my gosh, this is so good, and I still feel this way. So when I was doing a little bit
the rebuilding of the Jedi Temple or the building of the Jedi Temple? Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, with those R2D2 android type things,
drones.
Yeah. So I loved all this stuff. I mean, there's a large section of this just devoted to Grogu's training. So I'm not saying it's not worth talking about. It is worth talking about, but not spending so much time on because it's just his training. And I just love the way it made me feel. Yeah. I still think Grogu's stupid. I just think he's just daft.
Yeah, me too.
You know, until he's not, because there's going to be someday, and he has had a couple of kind of flashes of brilliance, but he's largely
I know he's like the the toy kind of thing, but even Danny's grown out of it. He's like, I'm over Grogu.
I know, but I think probably the best part of the training was the whole Luke running through the woods with Grogu on his back, which is obviously, paying homage to Empire Strikes Back.
No, surely though, if it was proper Jedi training, it should be Grogu with Luke in his backpack. No, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah, but we wouldn't get the callback that we need to see.
Exactly.
We wouldn't get that callback. So shut up. I promised myself I wasn't going to fight. I promised, but just
no. You shut up.
You shut up. So let's go to. There's some small things I want to pick up on, like R2D2 sound effects. If you've not seen new R2D2 live action footage in a long time, to see him on the screen and hear him and all the whizzes and the whistles that he does, it's so nice. So to wrote down, I think Timothy Olyphant was amazing, absolutely amazing. So whereas Bill Burr brings that groundedness to those episodes that he's in, I think Olyphant brings a certain amount of groundedness. But also, I think Bill Burr wants to be in Star Wars, but definitely wants to let you know he doesn't want to be in Star Wars, even though he does. Whereas I think Timothy Olyphant wants to let you know that he definitely wants to be in Star Wars, but I'm also going to be grounded.
Yeah.
He's definitely got that kind of gunslingery. He's bringing that kind of Deadwood thing back.
Exactly what I was going to say. He's been in quite a few. He was in Deadwood. He was in
Deadwood.
A couple of others. But he's been in a few kind of gunslingery type things, and he suits that role.
He does. He totally
Perfect.
does.
I've got him right up there.
You've got him.
The blue, the black, not the blue series, the black series.
What, the blue series? What's that? You just let slip something you're into.
Is it bondage? No, he's. Where is he? Somebody stole. James, have you stolen? No, he's there.
So I mean, when we get beyond the training and stuff, in fact, I'm just looking at the what do you call the remote things they use on the Millennium Falcon and A New Hope. They actually use the remote here. The training remotes, which is really nice. But I mean, a little bit later on, we're getting to Black Chrysanthemum, and we're getting, they're talking about they don't have enough people to overcome. God, I can't remember the name of the Spice Runners.
Yeah, right.
No, I can't remember.
I mean, you're talking about moments here, and I'm like, oh God, that's right, Black Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysanthemum, yeah.
And
I love that, man.
The Jabba the Hutts. But remember when that came out, we all went crazy, man. You know, all these guys holding up the twin Hutts.
I know. The brother and sister.
Some great moments in that show. You know.
So they're all standing around that kind of in the briefing, and they've got the hologram of the town and stuff, and they're a bit worried about recruitments and stuff. And then Mando makes his appearance at the close to the end, and he's like, "I think I can help with your recruitment." Obviously, he's pals with Cobb Vanth, and then he goes back, and they go back into that little town settlement, and they're having a chat, and then in the distance, right? It's like they have this wee chat, and then Cobb Vanth comes outside, and then you see the wind chimes chiming, and I think at that moment, Vanth knows I could die here, because he looks back and he sees that shimmer you get in the desert, and you can see Cad Bane coming towards him, and I'm just like, sends tingles up my spine. It's so good, and that whole face-off, I think it was perfect. And you've got Cobb Vanth is like that, very, very calmly. Do you want to tell the guys just to go inside for a while?
Yes,
because he knows shit is going down, and I absolutely love it. How calm he is, but he knows this guy who's coming here is an absolute real threat.
Yeah,
and then he's got his daft wee deputy coming out, giving it.
Oh my God!
Will I come in? I don't know what to do.
Right. That's right.
And he gets it a lot. He shoots Cobb in his shoulder, and then he just walks towards his deputy, and he just fills him full of lead, blaster lead, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And I just think I think the introduction to Cad Bane at that point is just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm in love with that episode. One of my all-time favorites.
What a character!
Aye.
And it's great.
I don't think we've seen. I do not think we have seen the last of Cad Bane.
Hope not.
I enjoyed him in the Clone Wars, but it's next level. It is so beyond what he was in the Clone Wars. It's amazing. So there you go. That's my take.
Cool.
On the Book of Boba.
Nice. Love it.
I'm going to go and use the refresher.
Do it.
We'll see in a bit.
You like that?
I did, yeah.
I can still hear you, but you won't be able to hear me.
I can still see you.
We hope can't hear you, that's for sure. Tinkletown.
Was he peeing in a bottle or something?
Aye, yeah, he's just going off screen here. Do you know what that is?
I think we both picked this one, Sloan.
I think we both did. But I think I gave mine up. And
that is a Space Raider.
Something else. That is a Space Raider. That is correct. That is a Space Raider corn potato chip thing.
From the 70s.
From the 70s, yeah. That is the prison complex on Narkina 5.
Yes.
See, you're wrong. It's not a Space Raider.
No. I was close.
So I kind of cheated with this. I know this is 3 separate episodes. Well, I didn't really cheat because I chose them as 3 because I couldn't pick one because this is basically the Great Escape in Star Wars form.
Star Wars, yeah.
So Narkina 5, Nobody's Listening, and One Way Out are my three.
Wait a minute. Are you
I'm
cheating?
just doing them all
You
together.
picked all three as
No,
one?
no. I chose three as three separate episodes, but I'm going to talk about them as if they're one episode.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
One big long movie, 3-hour
Well,
movie.
it was, wasn't it? Really, it was.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Yeah.
I liked. That's one of the things I liked about Andor is that it felt like there was like a separation of like 3 or 4 stories in the first season. I don't know if they're going to do that in the second season, but I hope they do.
Yeah.
Kind of do that because it felt it was like distinct chapters. Do you know what it felt like? It felt. Remember Doctor Who in the late 70s, early 80s, where it was like you would get 12 episodes, but it was split into 4 3 episode stories.
Yep.
Very similar to this as well. Narkina 5, obviously the prison complex. I love the way that the best bit about this is it's filmed in Eastbourne, I think. The shots of the pleasure planet that he's in.
Yes.
So he kind of stack, he puts in there. But my favorite thing about that whole bit is that his alias that he chooses is a guy called Keith.
Yeah.
Because it's such a kind of Eastbourne name. It's like, all right, Keith.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets arrested for the dumbest reason, which is basically some guys are running past him and he gets accused of running with them. And that they're up to no good, so he must be up to no good.
Well, it was on the run though.
No, but they didn't know that. They were arresting him for running as well, but he wasn't running. He was just looking behind him, and he's like, "Oh, I wasn't doing anything." And this, Sand Trooper, I think it is.
I find that a bit odd, actually, you saying that, because the fact he was on the run anyway, he was a wanted man.
Yeah, but they didn't know who he was.
Done for something innocent,
I know, but at that point, because you learn later on in that 3-episode arc that basically the Empire were just rounding people up.
Oh yeah.
So they could work, because I mean, how do you build a big space station? It must cost a fortune. Well, actually, if you have slaves, it doesn't cost you a thing.
Exactly.
So they just rounded people up and just put them in these prison complexes, and then worked them to death essentially. And that's how they got their big thing.
And that was the big speculation, wasn't it? What is it they're building? And then obviously the final scene at that was it the end of the whole series, or was it the end of those 3 episodes? And we saw that it was like a mechanism for it was one of the panels of the Death Star.
Yeah. What I do remember though was in this very episode that we were watching when we did the watch along, you said, "I bet it's the Death Star."
Did I?
Yeah. And I went, "No, it's too obvious."
I think you'll find I said that.
Oh, was it you? All right, sorry, James.
I was going to say it. I don't remember saying that. I'm not that clever.
Sorry, it was you, James. Okay. I remember going, "Nah, wasn't that? Nah, it's not. It's too obvious. Too obvious." But yeah, I was saying to Jodie there, just treating this as one big episode, because I can't really sort of split them out. There's some nice bits in Narkina 5 where he goes to Saw Gerrera, and Saw talks about all the factions as well.
Yeah, that was a nice part. Yeah.
With what's his face, Bill, and that was a good bit as well, because he kind of like poo-poos him and sort of says like, "Well, you just want to be the separatists," and sort of or do you want to make a difference, kind of thing. But I love this, the whole the electrified floor, like they were committing suicide with them. Like it was one guy decided that he just didn't want to be a prisoner anymore and committed suicide, so he just jumped into the floor as they electrified it for the night. And Kino Loy, who was like a company man.
I find it odd that there's Star Wars fans out there that hate Andor. They hate it.
Really?
Why?
They hate it. They think it's boring. There's no lightsabers in it. There's no force in it. They hate it.
They know that they're
missing out, man.
Billions of people in the Star Wars galaxy, billions and billions of people in the Star Wars galaxy, and Luke Skywalker is one person divided by billions of people is 0.0
anyway,
people.
They're missing out. Yeah.
there's plenty more stories out there. Anyway, there's also in this episode as well, Narkina 5. There's also bits as well where it cuts back to Coruscant. So it's like he's having a hard time with it. Then it cuts back to Coruscant, and she's like, she's hosting a party, I think it is. And
Mon Mothma?
Mon Mothma is hosting a party, and her not boyfriend, but friend who happens to be a boy comes in, and the daughter sort of accuses her of
you're not quite sure what the relationship is.
Yeah,
but,
and he says,
but I get the impression she flirts with whoever she thinks can give her what she wants. You know,
possibly, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and it's the same kind of scenario with Cassian, because he gets what he wants through. You know, he doesn't care about allegiances really, as long as the cause is met, type thing. You know.
Yeah.
Even kind of you know, people like his colleagues or whatever. We see that in the opening sequence in Rogue One. The guy's just getting in his way, so he's like bang, dead. And we see it in the opening of Andor, actually, the opening sequence of Andor. You know, he'll kill people that get in his way, kind of thing. If it gets in the way of the cause.
Yeah. And then in Nobody's Listening, the next episode to this one, this is the one with the sound torture, with a really disgusting tortury guy.
Yes, that's a great episode. And he loves his job.
Oh my god, he loves his job. But the way he describes it is it's so it's the people who they genocided. They killed their kids first. Is that I can't remember if this is the thing, and they've got the most beautiful voices, but they basically destroyed their planet. They then took the screams of the kids and then play that, and it's the most terrible sounding thing in the world.
Yes,
and that's how they torture you. It's like what?
I know.
Just the worst people. But it did remind me of a Kate Bush song called Experiment 4, which is basically details that, which is the sound thing that they do to torture people with.
The Americans have done that. Waco.
That's right, yeah. They use it a lot. Did it in Guantanamo Bay as well.
Yeah.
They used to play heavy metal music.
Or babies crying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they played ABBA as well. No joke. I actually do think, like, in a prolonged period of time, listening to ABBA.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I'd crack. I'd tell you my Wi-Fi password after 5 minutes.
Michael Bublé.
Exactly. Michael Bublé is another one as well. Yeah.
Apart from this time of year,
it's fine. The crooner from British Columbia.
The only time everybody likes Michael Bublé is this time of year.
It's beginning to look a lot like, and we haven't mentioned so far in these 3 episodes. Andy Serkis makes a welcome return to Star Wars, folks, and he wasn't Snoke.
That's brilliant.
Plays Kino Loy, who's the shift runner.
He's brilliant. You know.
Yeah,
we all know it. Yeah.
But this is one way is that's the episode where at the end of Nobody's Listening, I think it is. What's his name? Oh God, that actor that's the English actor.
What, the guy from Yorkshire?
He was in a
The Old Boy.
Pet.
Oh,
yeah, the Old Boy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was in
Christopher.
Batman.
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he was.
He played the shopkeeper in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Christopher
Fairburns.
I could not tell
Christopher Fairburn. Yes, well done, by the way. It is.
Bloody hell,
Christopher Fairburn. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Oh, okay, yeah. He
this is why me and James can't do this on our own. You come out with shit like that.
I think it's like Christopher Columbus. I don't know, probably not.
I can see his face. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like,
he played the
Sorry.
he played the Scouser in Ophidia's Input. Anyway, so he
I'm sure he
dies.
was also in Alien 3 and he was in a Jurassic Park movie.
You're
Can't remember
right.
which one it was.
He was.
Yes, he was. Yeah,
He
he played one of
James,
the monks in Alien 3.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was in Alien 3, maybe. I can't remember.
See, when you say
Yeah.
I think he was, you know he was.
Exactly.
I can he was. If you can, you can.
If you can.
He's a great actor, by the way. A great
He's
actor.
brilliant.
You know, that used to be my least favorite David Fincher movie until I saw The Killer. Anyway,
By the way,
with you.
Alien
I'm with
3's
you.
Alien 3's my Book of Boba Fett. So just we said we wouldn't fight
okay.
tonight.
Sorry.
So leave Alien 3 alone. I like it
Anyway.
a lot.
So at the end,
Sorry.
they meet up with Harry Potter because he's there as well. Sorry, James Potter, because he's the Doctor in this, and he goes, "Oh, there's nothing I can do for him," and so he dies. And then Andor's talking to Kino, and he's going, "We're not getting out of here," because they've realized that they've fried an entire floor because there was a revolution down there, and he's like, "Well, we're not getting out. We need to find a way out of here." So they figure a way out, which involves plumbing. And flooding the floor,
Right.
and then they climb. That's the instruction he gives. Climb. There's only one way out, and that's climb and get out of there as quickly as possible. And so they make their escape. And the saddest line in all of Star Wars:
I can't swim.
I can't swim.
Oh my
But
god!
it didn't mean he died. It did not mean
It doesn't
he died.
mean he died, no. But the chances are he probably was shot summarily by some.
And by the
prison
way,
guards because he couldn't make it.
You know, the people that watch that show want him to come back. So
Yeah,
hopefully that'll happen.
But again, I think, bring him back as another character. Don't bring him back as Kino. I would hate to see like a Kino Lloyd origin story.
No, but I think you should bring him back as in he didn't die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
You know.
Yeah, they
Why
brainwashed him. Bring him back as a baddie. He's good as a baddie.
Oh no, that'd be horrible. Imagine.
No.
Yeah.
Don't
They
do
torture him and they bring him back.
That'd be horrible.
Wow. That's the great escape part of that. I love this. I love this show. This whole season of Andor because it's exactly what I wanted it to be. I've said it so many times before. It's Secret Army. It's exactly that kind of spy thriller thing.
Yeah.
There was some nice shots of the beautiful Scottish countryside as well, and a TIE fighter going down some like Glencore, wherever it was. An amazing show. But those are like the three standout episodes for me. However, James, this leads us on to Rick's Road.
Rick's Road.
Of course,
So,
I knew it.
Obviously, I must be a fan of a season finale because I've got a few season finales in here.
But you're a big fan of Rick's Road.
I'm a big fan of Rick's Road. Yes, I do. It is definitely in my vocabulary. It's the old Rick, obviously said in a Cockney accent. So Rick's Road. Just a couple of points about Andor. I think Andor's very much for the Sloan brothers, definitely, because I think it's a lot more the thinking man's Star Wars. And I'm not saying I'm not a thinking man Star Wars guy. I like to be able to work from a story, but I think Jodie, you and Sloan, that's what you want. It's more cerebral for you guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think, whereas I'm like, give me the splash page, give me the centerfold, give me the action. Whereas you guys are like, you like the build.
Yeah.
And I really, really like Andor, but I think you liked it more than I did. And that's why I liked Book of Boba Fett, because I got my splash page and I got the glitz and the glam and all the touch points.
That's the beauty of it, because we're getting all aspects of Star Wars, you know. So it's a beautiful thing, really.
So it surprised me when, out of all of the episodes that I've ever watched of Star Wars, this is the one that and I don't cry at TV that much, but this is the one that sent the most shivers up and down my spine. This is the one that I felt the closest to tearing up. watching.
Speech.
This is the speech. This is Cassian Andor's mum, who's now passed on. Her name's Mata. I can't remember, but her name. So she's something Cassian Andor, and she passed on. But we've watched 12 episodes.
Marva.
Marva.
So we've watched 12 episodes at this point, and the droid that delivers the speech is so, it's B2 Emo.
B2 Emo, yeah, he's the emo droid.
So he's just.
I ran out of red bricks, but I made him in grey.
That's cool.
But he's such a nice droid. So watching all of this, I'm just grateful. Up until episode 11 of Andor, I'm so grateful. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Sorry, James. I was just going to say that we all said the saddest line was "I can't swim," and then the next week's episode was "I just want Marva," which is what B2 said. And we're all like,
"Oh, that's right."
I know. So just watching all this stuff and listening to the music and seeing the funeral march and stuff, and I'm just like, I've not endured 11 episodes. I've really, really enjoyed all the dialogue and all the tension building. But we're here now, and there's nothing I like more than a good speech. And I think she delivers one of the greatest speeches in pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Not just in movies and TV.
Well.
Yes, fight the
Empire.
Which is,
I'm glad they didn't go the other way.
I'm glad they didn't
as
well. Yeah,
I know, but see the Andor theme is building and it's delivered. It's like you think so. B2 Emo or whatever his name is, BMO. He's delivering this. He's actually she's used as part of her plan, and he broadcasts her message, and she says things like, "I almost feel like I can see you." It's weird.
Yeah,
it seems like I can see you all. So then we're actually thinking she is actually speaking to them in real time.
Yeah,
and what happens and the way her speech is finished. I was just saying to Jodie, even though I love all the other stuff more, this is the one that made me feel teary-eyed, and it's the one that actually legitimately sends shivers up my spine because I thought it was absolutely magnificent. That speech from Marva, did you say her name was?
Marva, yeah.
And the build up to it, it's I think it was phenomenal. And she talks about them being sleeping. We're sleeping, we're sleeping, right, and I gain power. Yeah. I gain power from the dead. I get higher in my levels of attentiveness when someone dies and I realize what they died for. So you can gain height from my death almost as part of our speech, and the music's building in the background and people are getting angrier, and there's just stormtroopers like police officers just standing on the street, and then it just all kicks off, and I'm just like, that's possibly the best. It feels sometimes that could be on a different level the best bit of Star Wars that I've ever seen.
That was
not lightsabers.
That was really subtle. Was the fact that because Andor, every episode started off with a different variation of the tune, whether it was like the flute or something, or there was like an organ, or there was like the percussion part of it, and it fitted in with that episode. But when you brought everything together, it turned out it was the funeral march of the people on I can never remember the planet. Ferrix, that's it.
Yeah,
it's the funeral march of the people of Ferrix, and maybe even particular. Was it the Daughters of Ferrix? I think that she's a part of.
Yes,
it might even be just the funeral march for them. But yeah, just building into that crescendo. It is a probably the finest end to a season.
Aye, and there's loads of stuff going on in the background. I mean, there's loads of stuff. It's got Andor's hiding out, and there's don't kill him, and then they've got the
rescuing Bix. Well,
yes, they've got Deirdre walking down Rick's Road with a couple of Death Troopers behind her, or is it Death Troopers, Dark Troopers? I get them mixed up. And they just look the coolest. Yeah, the coolest.
And
stuff.
She gets rescued by Cyril as well.
I know, that's right. Aye. And there's a bit of stabbing going on. It's just like a bit of payback. It's just cracking. Just loved it. Absolutely.
And they take
absolutely
the guy with the big hammers as well. Remember they get that guy?
Oh,
right?
with it, he's doing the
And
bell
does
thing,
the old whoomp like that.
and the stormtrooper comes up, and he's just trying to stop him,
And he
like
just
almost
wheelies him.
stop that from happening. You've got one job, stormtrooper. Just go and stop that guy from ringing that bell. And he gets up and he just gets booted off the side. Like, yes! And you see him. I'm glad there was no Wilhelm scream for that, because it would have detracted from the seriousness of it.
Yeah.
It's the only Wilhelm scream we didn't need.
Yeah.
So absolutely. So that is absolutely one of my, despite that not being mega up there for me, that one episode was just amazing. So
yeah,
there you go. I could gush about it more. I could gush about it for another 20 minutes. There's no point. I love it.
Yeah, oh, it's good. I want to go. Do you know, I'm sitting listening to all this, and I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch Andor now.
Yeah,
it's hard to go back. See all the episodes you love. It's hard to go back and do the homework on it, because you actually just want to watch the episode.
I know. Yeah, you just get sucked in by it. It's brilliant.
There's also a few unanswered questions as well. Remember the first few episodes, and it was him and his sister. You know, the kind of mystery of what happened to her. And, so that will probably be, obviously, the second season's happening. So we'll hopefully get.
Was it not kind of like it doesn't really
relevant
matter, the fact that I don't think it's relevant now.
Well, it's maybe not relevant to the whole story, but it's still it's like
you want closure on it.
Well, why put that in if there's not going to be any closure to it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think.
So there you go. Who's next?
Jodie is next. So you guys are up next with Ahsoka.
Right.
You did. Oh, my favorite Andor scene is the speech Luthen gives to his informant. Yeah, that's good as well. Also,
dang it!
What is it with the Star Wars universe and not having rails on stuff?
Yeah, I tell you, it's very hard to pick only 5 episodes from this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know why we picked? Do you know why we picked 5 episodes though?
Why?
To make the episode shorter.
Doing a bang up job.
I'm on 1 hour and
22
minutes.
I know.
All right. Okay. Well, we get 2 things to go through, and then we're done. So and people can go to bed. So far away. Episode 6. Jodie, you're up.
Yeah. So I think, if my memory is right, this is the episode where Ahsoka goes into the kind of dreamland kind of state and meets Anakin in that state. Is that right?
Yes.
That's the one I picked.
Aye.
Yep.
And then we get kind of flashbacks to when she was younger, and Anakin was younger, and we see the Clone Wars, and it's just Ahsoka's been a joyous season. It really has. And seeing all that stuff. I mean, I don't know about you, James, but me and Sloan weren't the biggest fans of we kind of walked out the prequels going, huh? What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
The first one I walked out of going, I think I liked that, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, what the hell was that all about? You know. Then the second one was worse, and then I think Revenge of the Sith was probably the best out of the bunch. But I felt as if Anakin turned too quickly. But anyway, that beside the point. Years have gone by now, and it's great to see Hayden back. You know, I'll love to see him.
So
love
good.
to see him and Obi-Wan together. And I love to see that scenes like this as well.
Not with me, you're my enemy.
Because he's a better actor now as well. Do you not think?
I know.
He's got a great presence.
I don't think it was him. I genuinely don't think it was him. I think it might have been the person in the chair. George Lucas.
Well, Lucas was never the greatest director, probably, but
his direction was basically faster and louder.
No, it's more intense.
Faster,
more intense. Yeah.
But you can't say that about him because he's the creator of it. He anyway, we could go into a whole thing about that. But anyway, So yeah, it was great to see all this. Great to see the sort of Clone Wars stuff in live action, which we'd never seen before.
He got Kershner in because he knew he couldn't do the gravitas of Empire Strikes Back, so he knows his limitations. But for some reason, he just... Anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
No, let's not.
George Lucas thing.
Because
he did direct two of my favourite movies.
Doesn't matter. He's directed... He's created this.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I like this, but I think they're treading on different... I think they're treading on difficult ground with this, or just because I don't want to see all of a sudden Anakin's really nice. He's not really nice. He's hot. At this point, Anakin is not a nice person. He's already slaughtered the Sand People, and I don't like the fact that they're going down this path where he's a nice guy. And
I disagree because in this scene,
Jodie said
he appears friendly and then he attacks her.
I know.
So people say that, but in this scene, he is not nice all the way through it. So
yeah, and also for the longest time we've accepted that Anakin and Vader are fundamentally, majorly flawed characters in this whole universe, because he's basically been the tool of the Empire, killed probably tens of thousands of, humans and different species from around the galaxy, and then at the end, he's just forgiven.
Hunted the Jedi.
He's killed children, but instantly forgiven.
I'll tell you what, as well. When we were watching like the Attack of the Clones movie, and there's some real creepy moments in there with Anakin, and our perception is that he's a good guy at that point, but he's really creepy in it. With Queen Amidala, Padme.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one that he goes to rescue his mom, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And he kills the Sand People, all the women and children too, and all that.
Slaughtered them like animals.
But the problem with it is he's creepy in it, but she still is falling for him. It's like, oh, did you? Oh, I still love you. It's like
maybe she likes the bad boy.
Yeah, but come on, I think that's the only issue in that movie.
I think it was him slicing the pear, the floating pear, sliced to be sliced.
Oh yeah,
and forced it
in
her mouth.
I was in the theatre. I actually laughed out loud at that bit because all I could think of was that Red Dwarf episode where they're doing that with the forks and they're eating spaghetti carbonara or something.
We're going deep.
They get it all over themselves. Yeah,
come on now.
Spaghetti bolognese. That's what it is.
You calm down.
I know with my Red Dwarf references.
I can't remember the rest of this episode though.
So they go. There's
lots of Grand Admiral Thrawn.
There is, yeah, and the witches as well.
Is that this episode?
Witches at Dathomir. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I knew I picked it for some reason, but yeah, there's lots going on in this episode. So yeah. Anyway, basically that's why I picked it.
Can we just talk about
Mikkelsen?
Yeah, they also well, okay. No, we'll talk about it when we get to the next episode.
There you go for it.
No, go on. What were we going to say?
No, guys, we'll get to the next episode. It's fine.
Okay.
Anakin is cast with a friendly ghost now.
That's quite funny.
Nice one, James.
Yeah. Will you be my friend? The next one is episode 8, which is the Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlock, which of course is a clear reference to
C.S. Lewis,
some book series.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yep. This is the episode that I every Star Wars fan is like, and I was no different. James, I'll get to just a second. This is the episode where they fridge Elspeth, and I was like, oh, I liked her character. But anyway, James.
Do you think the witches could bring her back?
Yeah.
I know she was sliced
stuck
open
in
at the
that
belly,
planet,
but it's just
though.
the belly. But look at Darth Maul.
Yeah, I know.
Cut him in
He's
half.
about to scratch.
He's got more.
I know, that's true.
He's got more injuries.
I was going to say he's got legs, but he doesn't.
Also,
his character's
and
got
somebody pointed out that this is a technical problem. So see here, they've got the lightsabers. These are actual on-set lightsabers. They light up, and they're practical. They're not post. They were saying that because these are so delicate, they don't fight as much with them. And so the fighting looks clunkier now than it did in the prequels.
No, but but for those, but they're just for the visuals. But when they're fighting, they're not going to use those ones.
Oh, hold on a sec.
What?
There's got to be a mix of both.
Yeah. Well, you know yourself, James. Your lightsabers and Danny's one, I think you can fight with them.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to fight with a kind of,
screen.
Well, I see. It's because I've probably got the most experience out of all of us because I obviously run Ayrshire lightsaber repairs.
That's right. Yeah.
So I get like a lot of guys, bringing their
James
lightsabers in, a lot of girls bringing their lightsabers in.
Yes.
So, I've just probably got them. I could probably speak the most about it, but let's get back to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I think Ayrshire lightsaber repairs. Just click the link. Click the link in the notes. Guys, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Right, I love this episode because the stormtroopers are zombies.
Yes.
It's a season finale, so obviously hundreds of cool stuff's going on, but they gave me what I wanted the most.
I know.
Is the stormtroopers are zombies.
When are we going to get the what do you call it?
The Red Heart.
The main character, the stormtrooper.
Oh, do you mean the main guy with the kind of Egyptian
the gold face?
He's so intrigued.
Enoch.
His name is
Enoch. Yeah. Aye.
Named after the station.
I've seen a few people doing some customs of him.
Yes,
there's not an official figure yet, is there? Right.
Not yet.
No.
I've got to say the MVP of this episode is Sabine.
Yeah.
I just think she is incredibly cool, and I think she's not sure how powerful or talented she is within the Force and stuff, and she just is. I think she's great in this episode. I think she's great in this whole season, and not in a way. I think she's just a great character. So I wrote some notes down here. So let's go.
See if that for Hera.
Aye. Absolutely.
I don't mean to run you. I don't mean to speed you up there, James. But I've been told my tease it.
Right. Okay. Let's go. So let's go through Huyan, absolute classic, brilliant droid. I love the fact that when they shot the stormtroopers down, and they were like, this was such a hard job to slay all these stormtroopers, and now all of a sudden they're coming alive again. I cannot believe this.
It was brilliant.
So, which is a brilliant thing. Baylan Skull's amazing. Shin Hati's totally cool. Their relationship's really, really nice. Really wish Ray Stevenson was still alive so he could just just continue his character, because I really he grounded. I think there's one character, maybe one or two characters in each of this series can ground this, and I think he done an absolutely brilliant job doing it. Yeah. The fact that I'm not a Jedi, I'm not a Sith, I'm something else. I love Morgan Elsbeth turning into a proper Witch of Dathomir. Ezra was great, proper space Jesus. I love this. I love the zombie stormtroopers. I love the tense scenes where they're not fighting with the lightsabers; they're just walking around, totally full on samurai style. Yeah. I thought Lars Mikkelsen was brilliant as Thrawn, absolutely brilliant.
Really good. Yeah.
Obviously, it's quite interesting the fact that Lars and Mads are now both in the Star Wars thing. All the spaceship things are slick, and I'm a big fan of Rick Famuyiwa.
Absolutely,
yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he's brilliant, that director.
Yeah. I love
Sorry,
the
that's
episode
me.
as well. There's a couple of bits where I was like, just kind of like, why did he walk down the stairs with a helmet on? Like, could he not have like taken the helmet off? But that's nitpicking.
Who?
I know. Ezra.
Oh, aye, that was a daft scene. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Still.
Right.
Yeah, it's got a pass. Right, I finished. I've been told to keep it. I've been told to keep it down.
All right. Okay. I have to
Oh,
go
have
as
you
well.
as well?
Anyway. Okay.
That's why I've got this bloody hat.
Okay. Well, my dinner's out, so unfortunately I have to go. Anyway, let's leave it there. I'll post up the episodes that we chose on Facebook. So if you go to facebook.com, do a search for Super Kelly Brothers, you'll find the list there. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you like what we do, don't forget to hit the old subscribe button and notification bell, and you get timely reminders when we put something new up. And if you like this episode, then don't forget to like and share, and we will see you in the next one. So, cheerio.